Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the invisible blueprint of physical spaces. Look, we spend our entire lives moving through buildings, but how often do we actually stop to consider how the very air around us has been engineered? We're going to unpack exactly how architects manipulate the laws of physics to shape our senses. This is the architecture of sound and vision. I want you to think about the last time you were in a truly magical venue. Maybe a grand concert hall where every single note felt like it was just floating around you. Now compare that to a terrible venue. Think of a packed restaurant where you're literally shouting just to be heard by the person sitting 2 feet across from you. Why does that happen? Why do some rooms absolutely sing while others just swallow sound entirely? Well, that is the mystery we're unpacking today. To get to the bottom of this, here's our roadmap. We'll cover the invisible design, engineering the perfect echo, controlling the line of sight, materials, absorption and reflection, merging sound and vision, and we'll wrap up with the future of sensory spaces. Starting off with Section 1, the invisible design. Our mastery over these invisible forces, specifically acoustics and sightlines, has evolved a lot over time. Way back in the 4th century BC, the ancient Greeks were already building open-air amphitheaters with such incredibly precise slopes that a single actor's voice could reach thousands of people. No microphones, no amplification. Fast forward to the 19th century, and we get the classic shoebox concert halls. These long, narrow, rectangular rooms accidentally created some of the best acoustic environments in human history. And today, in the 21st century, we're building modern parametric halls. We use complex algorithms to design sweeping asymmetrical curves that calculate exactly how sound and light behave in a room. Moving right along to Section 2, engineering the perfect echo. Okay, so to really grasp acoustic design, you've got to understand a foundational metric called reverberation time. Think of sound waves like a rock being dropped into a perfectly still pond. The water ripples outward, hits the edges, and bounces back. Reverberation time is the precise duration required for those ripples to just completely decay and fade away in a closed space. If the reverb time is too long, the ripples crash into each other and create this muddy, chaotic noise. But if it's too short, the room feels unnatural and totally lifeless. So how do architects fix that? They use acoustic diffusion. Have you ever looked up at the ceiling of a modern theater and noticed those bizarre, jagged, kind of alien-looking clouds hanging up there? Or maybe highly textured wooden panels on the sidewalls? Those definitely aren't just for decoration. That is acoustic diffusion in action. It's the strategic scattering of sound energy. When a sound wave hits those jagged surfaces, it shatters into a million tiny reflections instead of bouncing back as one harsh, concentrated echo. The crucial takeaway here is that there's no single perfect room in architecture. There's only the right room for a specific goal. Take a live room. It's highly reverberant, meaning it keeps those sound ripples bouncing around. This is designed for unamplified symphony concerts, where you want the music to feel massive and enveloping. On the flip side, you have a dead room. This space is highly absorbent. It literally eats sound waves. It's built for precise vocal recording or intimate studio spaces, where you want absolute clarity without a single echo messing up the audio. Let's actually track a single sound wave in a well-designed hall. Step 1. The sound originates at the stage. Say a violin string is plucked. Step 2. The wave travels upward and reflects off those overhead acoustic clouds which angle the sound perfectly. Step 3. Unwanted frequencies get absorbed by the plush seating below. And finally, Step 4, the pure, balanced sound arrives at the back row at exactly the right volume. The architect has literally built a physical track for the audio to ride directly to your ear. It's amazing. Which brings us to Section 3, controlling the line of sight. So sound is about managing waves that fill a space, but vision is strictly directional. And when architects get the geometry wrong, the experience is ruined. We've all been there. Blind spots caused by massive structural pillars, or shallow floor rakes where you spend the whole show staring at the back of someone's head. Or maybe you're stuck in the front row of a movie theater and leave with a stiff neck. You also get dead zones that cut off the stage, or terrible glare bouncing off poorly angled lighting. To combat all of this, architects rely heavily on math, specifically targeting a 30-degree viewing angle for maximum visual comfort. If you have to tilt your head up or down more than 30 degrees to see the focal point of a room, you are going to experience severe visual and physical fatigue. Designing massive seating tiers that keep every single person within this 30-degree cone is a monumental geometric puzzle.
All right, section 4, materials, absorption and reflection.
It all comes down to absorption coefficients. Sounds highly technical, but it's pretty straightforward. A coefficient of 0 means total reflection, while a 1 means total absorption. Glass has a really low coefficient. It acts like a harsh acoustic mirror, bouncing high frequencies right back at you. Wood sits beautifully in the medium range, giving off a warm resonance that human ears just naturally love. And heavy velvet, it's incredibly high on the chart. It acts as an acoustic sponge. Architects strategically use velvet curtains to kill excess noise, and glass panels to throw sound exactly where they want it.
Now here's where it gets wild. 30 milliseconds. That is the exact mind-blowing dividing line for human hearing. If a sound wave reflects off a wall and hits your ear less than 30 milliseconds after the original sound, your brain perceives it as a pleasant, warm reverberation. It makes the room sound alive. But if that reflection is delayed by more than 30 milliseconds, your brain perceives it as a distinct, distracting echo. Architects have to choose materials that manage the speed of these reflections to stay on the correct side of that 30 millisecond threshold.
Let's bring it all together in Section 5, Merging Sound and Vision. This right here is the ultimate tension in modern design, the architect's dilemma. Visually stunning, sleek, minimalist surfaces. We're talking exposed concrete, vast walls of glass, sharp geometric lines. These often create catastrophic acoustic environments. What looks incredible to the eye usually sounds like a total nightmare to the ear. Those hard, flat surfaces just create endless, overlapping echoes that destroy audio clarity.
So how do designers resolve this clash between breathtaking form and perfect function? Through ingenious parametric solutions. It's basically high-tech trickery. They use acoustically transparent visual panels. This means a wall might look solid, but it's actually totally porous, letting sound waves pass right through to hidden absorbers in the back. They use micro-perforated wood veneers, wood that looks perfectly smooth but is drilled with thousands of microscopic holes to swallow echoes. And they use precisely sloped flooring to hit those 30-degree sightlines without creating acoustic traps. It tricks the eye while satisfying the ear. Finally, Section 6, the future of sensory spaces.
Think about this quote for a second. We don't just see a room, we hear its dimensions. The invisible structures shape how we feel inside them. It's so true. Your emotional well-being is subtly, constantly being shaped by the sensory design of your environment. An acoustically harsh office will literally spike your cortisol levels and cause fatigue, even if you don't realize why you feel so drained. On the other hand, a beautifully designed, warm-sounding living room will physically relax you. And really, that's the core takeaway of this explainer. In a hyper-digital world, the physical engineering of our shared spaces matters more than ever. We spend so much time staring at flat screens, listening to compressed digital audio, but humans are fundamentally physical creatures. The enduring power of acoustic and visual design is what grounds us. It's exactly what makes a live concert feel electric, a library feel peaceful, and your own home feel comforting. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you walk into a room, whether it's a massive theater, your local coffee shop, or just your bedroom, what invisible forces are you going to notice first? Look up at the ceiling. Notice the angles. Listen to how your footsteps echo off the floor. You now have the superpower to truly see the sound around you. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep exploring the invisible architecture of your world.